Good afternoon, everyone. Marissa here. It's so cold out today, but I am still here because I am going to give you a video requested by a viewer, which is about meeting Filipino parents. This is also important because some foreigners out there would like to know how to meet Filipino parents if they go and visit our country, the Philippines. I am going to give you tips on how to meet the Filipino parents of your fiancé. Let's begin. Let's take note that some Filipino fiancés are younger than the foreigner. Yes, so let's start with that. It is a common knowledge that Filipino families are so close. No matter how old you are, we don't care. We can still live in the house of the parents. Our parents, by the way, don't care because the more the merrier. That's how Filipino families are. The parents are happy to see the kids in one household. If your fiancé is young, like in the 20s or even below 20s, sometimes it happens, but like early 20s up to 30s, for example, you need to be careful because parents tend to be very protective when their kids are younger. I guess all parents do that. If you go and visit your fiancé in the Philippines, first thing to do is please be polite. How are you going to do your politeness? First impression lasts, right? So we know that. That is the mantra. First tip, smile. Second tip, say hi or hello. Third tip, greet the parents. You can learn Filipino words. Magandang umaga po, good morning. Magandang hapon po, good afternoon. Magandang gabi po, good evening. Those three greetings are very important. If your fiancé lives in Luzon, you can use the Filipino words, or if they have specific dialect, you can also learn that specific dialect. Just ask your fiancé, so your fiancé can teach you. If your fiancé lives somewhere in Mindanao or in Cebu, we have the same dialect, Visayan. So you can say, maayong buntag for good morning, maayong hapon for good afternoon, maayong gabi for good evening. Not everyone speaks Tagalog and not everyone speaks Visayan. And there are other dialects too in the Philippines. Number 4, you can also be polite by doing the mano po. So how is it done? Get the right hand of the parents. You can start with the mother or followed by the father, especially if it's your first time, so you are kind of nervous or tensed. Get the hand, put it on your forehead. This is the picture of how are you going to do it, mano po. In Visayan, we usually say it like, mag-bless ka. It's a blessing. If you get the hand of the elders, that means you are asking for the blessing and you are gonna be blessed. That's our belief. Now, if you have other things to say about that, you can also leave your comments down below, please. Number 5, talk softly to the parents. Socialize with the family. Don't be shocked, especially if everybody is in the house. Remember, if the Filipino family knows that a foreigner is going to visit somebody in the house, just get ready because you will be seeing a lot of people in the house trying to meet you and be friends with you. Don't worry, everybody is friendly. You can see all smiles in their faces. So be polite, socialize with them. We should always remember too that Filipino families come in different economic status. If you are meeting your fiancé with an average economic status, you may not have a lot of problems with that. If you are meeting the family of your fiancé whose status is kind of higher than the average one, just be polite. Nothing beats politeness. And be respectful because Filipinos are too observant when it comes to values. We always put high regard on our values. That's how we grew up. One thing that I assure you, Filipinos are so friendly. In my case, my parents are already gone. I only have my siblings. When my husband visited me the first time in the Philippines, I introduced him to my sister, only one sister and my nephews. And there was no problem with that because if you remember, my husband and I talked for 14 years in the computer. So my family knew him already. There was no need to do a lot of introduction and everything because they always saw him in the computer back then. So that's also a tip for fiancés, for foreigners. Please tell your fiancés that even in the computer, he or she should introduce you to the family already. Even in the computer, they would always remember that. So there won't be a lot of introductions when you go and visit your fiancé in the Philippines. In other words, meeting Filipino parents is not difficult because Filipinos in general are friendly. Just follow those tips, be polite, be respectful, and do what Filipinos do. And be yourself, of course. Next one, always show your best foot forward. As I've said, first impression lasts. So always show your best when you meet the parents. And at the same time, be yourself. Don't go beyond what you are not. Thank you so much for watching.